So it's a T27 in here to remove the muffler. So we'll get in there, get to turning it. Alright, that one feels loose, but it's going to stay. Doesn't bother me. This muffler assembly seems to be a single unit, not like a cap on top of another shell. It's not like a clamshell design. Watch your fingers on these really sharp, prickly bits. Alright, we should be about there. Okay, here we go. Muffler is off. I did check the screen. There does not seem to be any issues with this little spark arrestor screen that's in there. It was completely clean, so I'm not worried about that at all. So the screws are still in here, so I'm going to leave this setting up, although I need to pay attention to this gasket. I'll just leave that off to the side. Howdy folks, we are back today, and I'm reorienting myself with this thing, trying to remember where we left off. So I'm convinced this has to come out of here, because otherwise you can't get to the screws down in here to remove this head. So that's the next thing we're going to figure out. I think I just have to manhandle it. Yeah. Okay. All right. Being gentle, we've got some wiring here. Got this manifold. It's connected by a gas line, and I've got the throttle handle. Okay. That's going to be tricky to put back in. Okay. We'll get that part cleaned up before we reassemble. Okay. Now we have these two studs exposed. And now would be a really good time to change out my fuel line too. It's also a good time to clean this thing. I think I'm going to take it and go blow it with an air hose before I take this guy off, so that I get nothing down in the engine. I think that's pretty critical. So I'll step away and go do that real fast. Hang tight. Okay, we are back, and I have done as much cleaning as I'm going to do. It's not enough, but that's what it is. And I'm betting this is our T25, 27, and it is. It's T27. So here we go. All right, got one broke loose. Is. It's just at the limits of what this T-handle can do. I can feel it bending the star bit. There we go. We'll get down in here, see if we can find these two. Oh, there we go. So we got some visibility here without the muffler there. That's nice. I'm not going to try to pull that up through the head. There we go. Right at the limit. Okay, once again, I'll pull that out through the front. All right, the moment of truth. See how bad it is. Is there anything else holding it on or in the way? Nope. Well, let's find somewhere to work this out. There we go. Just lifted it up with some of the fins on the side there. We're loose, so we're going to hear the piston rings snap probably. There we go. Okay. I do not have my flashlight here. Okay, looks like we're going to need some kind of RTV gasket. Cylinder walls are scored. We'll rotate the engine a little bit, get the piston up at the top end. And that's a pretty good hole there, I'd say. Zoom in on that. Quite ridiculous. Okay, so I'm assuming that goes all the way through. Yep, it does. I can definitely see underneath it there. So this dude's toast. So let's see what we need to do to get it out. There's going to be some snap rings. There we go. We got a little cutout there. Let's see what we can do with just a O-ring pick. It's probably going to launch, but that's okay because the new need something a little stronger, a little bigger. So step it up to the next size screwdriver. Right. The other side doesn't have that, so this is the side it needs to come out from. Okay, I'm gonna get a little flat blade. Be right back. Okay, after much fighting, Parazoosmos with this chainsaw, I got a O-ring pick under this C-ring. There's a little notch here and there's not one on the other side. I'm about to rip this thing out and be done with it. So here we go. Huh. This booger will not give up. All right, I got half of it out. Get some needle nose in here. Finish it off. This was a bear. There's just nothing to grab onto on this guy. And the separation in the C-ring was such that it was on the opposite side of where you would bite with a screwdriver or whatever. I would have thought that when you install something like this, you would put one of the ends, oriented something like this, so that when you start prying on it, you can get an end out of there instead of having to work on the absolute worst side of a ring like this. Maybe it rolled around that way, but boy, I sure couldn't get it to roll within the saw. So anyway, that's done. So let's push this out. We can. Oh, I guess it's got to come this way, huh? Maybe she'll go. Okay, that might need some love taps. Sorry if I'm kind of... I'll zoom back up here. Wrong hammer, never use a screwdriver. No. Okay. Didn't do it. It is moving, but real slow. Okay, folks, we are back. So I've done some cleanup around the face here where the cylinder bolts down. I've cleaned up inside, tried to get as much of the debris out as possible. There wasn't a lot, but I thought I wouldn't bore you with that. And then, of course, clean the plastic around it so I don't knock anything else into it, because dirt is not our friend in this environment. So I'm going to use just a little bit of light oil and just kind of get in here and lube the bearings a little bit, just to get it back to, I don't know, some kind of working condition again. I don't know if this is the right stuff to use or not. If it's not, comment below and tell me how my saw is about to blow up for me, okay? I do read your comments, and I do appreciate them, whether they're good or critiques or whatever, guys. Okay, there we go. Lubed it up. So now, this is the kit that I got. So this is actually supposedly an upgrade from what was in the 311 to begin with. This is a 49 millimeter piston, whereas the original was 47 millimeter. So this should give it a little bit more horsepower, a little bit more volume in the cylinder. You know what? Before I pull this out, why don't I get things cleaned up a little bit? We'll be right back. Okay, that's a little bit better. Got some new piston rings. And we got a bunch of paperwork and the new cylinder. looks like it. So they pack the piston in the cylinder. Got some nice foam there. There we go. Okay. Okay, comparing these pistons, they look almost identical. One is stock OEM and one is from Highway. I guess that's the HW. So we'll install it the way it was. These locator pins are in the same location, so I'll put my my piston rings in the same spots as was before. We'll get that lubed up and installed. And then we got our clips and our connecting bushing here. All right, next step is to get our piston rings installed. So we've got our pins that are for alignment or marking. They prevent the rings from moving too far one way or the other. They are offset somewhat, but not as much as I would have expected. So these pistons are basically identical. So we're going to set them up exactly the same. All right, my video keeps turning off on me. So I just lubed up and slid the lower ring on first. I've got a nice scratch here now that goes with the end of the ring, and we've aligned it with that pin so that it can move, but only as much as that pin lets it. Okay, so we'll do the same thing with the top here. Make sure up is up. And once again, we're only going to stretch this as much as required. All right. Okay, both rings installed. Excellent. Okay, so I did go back and look at video about the shape of the bell, shape of the piston, and confirm that the arrow will be pointing towards the exhaust, which goes out the front of the saw. So let's install one of these G-clips. So that we're ready to put it on the connecting rod. I don't think it matters. We'll start on the far side. Okay, we got our rings installed. I verified orientation of the piston. We got our G-clip installed on the far side. Now we will install it onto the connecting rod. That is a tight fit. Let's see. There we go. Just gotta get it all lined up. Okay. We'll get the other G-clip for this side. Sorry, that's my son over there doing his chores. If you can hear the four-wheeler. Okay, clip is installed. Alright, I got Right Stuff 90-minute gasket maker red. This is rated to about 600 something degrees, 650 I think. We'll puncture the cap there. Alright. Okay, we got a bead of gasket maker around there. I'll lube up the cylinder. Just a lot. That was way too much. Okay. Point the exhaust towards the exhaust side. There we go. All right, piston is in. Okay, so that had me scared, but I got it seated down. I think we're good. My phone keeps messing up on me here, so keep hitting a maximum storage limit or something. So I got the cylinder on. Next thing we're going to do is bolt it down. I'm going to skip through some of this tedious part. I'm going to bolt the head down. I got to swap over the decompression valve. We'll get the spark plug installed. We'll put the intake and the exhaust manifolds on, and then we're basically done. So stay tuned. All right, so there's one screw here that when you install it, I'll show you where it is. When you install this guy, it doesn't suck up that flange. So this screw needs to be shortened. The other two fit just fine, and they are all three the same length. So I'm going to take a hacksaw to this thing, file that edge as clean as I can, and we'll try again. You can see where it looks like it's cutting metal down in the bottom of the hole, and then it doesn't go far enough. So we'll cut it back to about here. All right, so this is going well. I got that screw cut to size. We got the carburetor installed back on, and now I'm working on this final flange here that holds the air cleaner and houses the choke assembly and whatnot. So we're just nipping up these last two nuts, and then I'm going to swap it around and work on the front end, which is the exhaust. Everything is going smooth. Okay, so we just torqued up the T27s and the muffler. Next thing I'm going to do is put on the handle. All right, we successfully got the handle back installed, and with that, things stabilized a lot better. So you always want to check your trigger, check your throttle control. Everything seems to be working okay. The next thing we're going to put on is this side. Remember here that the screw with the bell is the one that works the front brake. Okay, we got the air filter installed, the spark plug boot. We got the side. Front handle seems to be working okay. It's the last screw, and I think we got her together. I'm going to go ahead and slap the bar on there as well, because I don't want it to free spin, cause any issues here. But I think we're together. Definitely has more compression. It's a really good sign. So okay, here we go. It's the ultimate test, right? compression, huh? All right. All right, so that was the rebuild of my Stihl MS311. I hope you enjoyed it. I sure did. Man, I'm just tickled it's running again. I'm excited to see how much power it's got now compared to what it had before. So if you like this kind of content, subscribe to the channel. If you don't like it, hit the thumbs down twice or give it a like if you so choose.